Okay, it's time to start. Welcome to virtual reality social distancing, everyone. Welcome. Thanks for coming. Thanks so much for coming. It's great to see all of you. Really, it's been like 3 or 4 days since the last one, so I've missed you. I'm sure you've missed me too, and you've missed each other. It's awesome to have you here. This is meetup number 7, I think. Yeah, it is. So it's pretty awesome, actually. Whoop, I jumped. Didn't mean to jump. So I really love these meetups as kind of a way to get together and to interact as a group, which is something that's actually kind of surprisingly rare these days. So it's really awesome we can do it, and really thank a lot to all of you guys for coming, for joining us. And if you like this, if you enjoy this event, or if you're watching us on the live stream and you like this and you want to be part of the next events, then please join our Telegram group where we announce the next events that we'll do. It's on t.me/VRBitcoin. You can see the name like over there. And if you're on the live stream, you probably see it on the corner of your screen. So just join that, and we'll let you know about the future events. And you probably noticed that all of you are muted now. You can't speak anymore, but you have an emoji button that you can use to kind of show us how you feel and show us what you think. And you can clap, you can show us hearts and smileys. And please, so just to test it out, please click the heart emoji if you can see the slides behind us. So heart emoji if you can see the slides. And if you cannot see the slides, please use the sad emoji. Okay, so I see 2 people who cannot see the slides. So for the 2 who cannot see the slides, can you please show me a heart if you're on Linux? Yeah, so one is on Linux, and I guess the other one isn't. So I know there are problems with the slides on Linux for some people who are trying Linux for the slides. So I'm sorry if that's the case for you. You can try to re-enter the room, to exit and re-enter the room. Maybe that will help. If not, then I'm sorry. We also have the live stream video that you can try to watch. And yeah, I hope one of the options work for you. Well, so as I said, this is being live streamed right now. It's on my Twitter feed. You can see that there. If you want to say hello to the camera, it's right there behind you. So hello to everyone who's watching us. Thank you for watching. And well, today we have Britt Kelly from BTCPay. And she's going to tell us about BTCPay, but she's also going to tell us about how we can use that not just as merchants and not just for payment processing, but for other stuff too. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, just know, by the way, last note, because we're live streamed, so this means it's obvious everything we say here is recorded and everyone will see what you say. So please take that in mind. And if you don't want the world to hear what you say, then keep that in mind that we're recording and streaming. That's it. I think we're ready to start. So please, a round of applause for Britt, and I'll just move along. Thank you for coming. Go ahead, Britt.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Cool. So welcome. This is my first VR presentation, so I'm pretty excited. Thanks for coming. If anyone can't hear me, do a sad emoji. Just make sure everyone can hear me. Okay, cool. So first, I want to ask you, can you raise your hand if any of you have used BTCPay before? Okay, so some hands, cool. And has anyone used BTCPay who's not a merchant before? Okay, so a few hands. So BTCPay was originally created, I guess you can kind of think of the infamous tweet from Nicolas Dorier about trying to obsolete BitPay. But really, BTCPay has evolved to become essentially just a way for us to use Bitcoin in the ways that we need it. And the reason why Nicola got upset with BitPay is because it was providing a service that he could not use. in the way that he wanted to use it. So BTCPay is one of those services that is really geared towards making tools that help all of us. So the more people that try it and let us know how you can use it in a way that does not allow you already currently, we'll go ahead and try to add more and more things. Because really, it's not just for processing payments, it's for a lot of other things too. So that's what we're here to talk about. And let's see. Okay, so just if you haven't used BTCPay Server before, it is an invoicing system. You can have people pay an invoice and get the money. That's really the basic thing that you see when you see BTCPay in someone's store and you go to purchase it. You pay the invoice. So basically, how it works though is you set up a BTCPay server account, which is just a server that you deploy. You can deploy it on Raspberry Pi. You can deploy it on a VPS. We have one-click deployment methods that are pretty easy if you're not tech savvy. So there's really a wide range. But essentially, the way that it works is you have this sort of server that you log into. So here in this slide, I have, it's called mybtcpay.com. So you go there. And you can actually allow unlimited login accounts on your server because you're the server admin if that's something you want to do. And so this is how you can not only be your own bank, but you can also be a bank for anyone else, including your family members or friends. And this is really important because a lot of times, people like us are the ones who are kind of cutting edge on this kind of technology, and you have other people that are interested, but they probably won't take the steps to do it. So if you deploy a server and you help 10 of your friends, use Bitcoin, then that's great, right? So in addition to having this server that can have as many accounts as you want, each account can have an unlimited number of stores. And so in BTCPay, one store is associated with one XPub. So there's essentially one wallet that you connect per store. So if you have a lot of wallets, you can have lots of stores. You can also make wallets in BTCPay too. You can make hot wallets. So essentially, you can have unlimited stores. And then each store, you can have an unlimited number of apps. And those apps are the point of sale system, the crowd fund, and then each app can produce an unlimited amount of invoices. So essentially, you can do anything you want with payments, but it's really about the structure of being your own bank in the sense that you can collect payments, you can manage payments, and do lots of things. So that's the next step of BTCPay is sort of money management. Okay, so we have the invoice on the left. That's what it looks like, probably what you've seen. And then in the middle, we have sort of like what you would see when you receive a lot of payments, and it shows statuses. So it will say like invalid payment, someone tries to like, double spend or something, who knows, like invalid, or paid, partial paid, paid over. So it's very cool. And you can export this as a spreadsheet or CSV. So if you wanted to like make graphics or you just want to do your accounting, there's of course like QuickBooks plugin for this as well. So money management is big in BTCPay. And then here on the right, we have the wallets page. And the wallets is how you manage all the funds in your store. So each store has its own wallet, and then you manage the wallet in BTCPay as well. And that management includes sending money out of your wallet, signing transactions. So essentially, you get paid via the invoice and you can manage all of your payments. And then the wallet page is how you can send money out of your BTCPay or just check your balance. It's really like a regular bank. So some of the features that you can use that are beyond payment processing, such as the invoice, we have payment requests. Payment requests are essentially bill pay. You can make this payment request, which is essentially a long-lived invoice, and you can send it to anyone with just a URL. The long-lived invoice essentially takes the price at the time of user payment. So say you had a bill and you wanted to bill, let's say, your roommate for electric bill, and you don't want to give an invoice that expires because it will expire, and you don't want to have to do an exchange rate in the future, right? Because the exchange rate is going to change. So what the payment request does is whenever the user goes to make a payment, what it will do is take the current exchange rate at the time of user payment, and the user can pay partial payments on it. They can pay the full payment, and it will never expire until the payment is made. And you can check the status of all of this. This is actually something I built some chocolate to Nicola Dorier in Berlin. No, I think it was in Riga. I can't remember, but yeah, so this is very cool. One of my personal favorite features, because this is not really like payment processing. This is like how you get money from people, and everyone like wants to get paid, right, for things. So okay, so next we have apps, and we have the point of sale app is really versatile in BTCPay. You might see this page a lot on some people's Twitter accounts of BTCPay people. This is just a point of sale system that you can make, and it has one button, and that one button is a custom payment amount button. So it means anyone can make a payment, and if you press pay, it will just open an invoice. And so you don't need to rely on third-party services to get tips or to get payments like very quickly. So you can just share this URL, and instead of the payment request, which is like, hey, pay me 10 Bitcoins, this is like, hey, pay me whatever you want. So this is one way that you can use it, and it's super easy. You can put this on your social media accounts. You can, send this to someone that owes you money, whatever. And then on the left over here, this is just another version of the point of sale app that I made, which is essentially the same thing. It's a custom input, one item point of sale system. And it is, in this case, a ticket app. And it was for a demo that I made using Transmuter, which if you go to the Transmuter GitHub repository, you can see a demo that I made with step-by-step of how to essentially do a meetup ticketing system with BTCPay. And essentially all you do is you set it up so where when someone goes to pay the invoice of your ticket app, when payment is made, Transmuter, which is a plugin of BTCPay that's easy to enable if you have BTCPay, will automatically detect that a payment was made and it was complete, and it will send emails automatically for you. And in those emails, you can put customer receipts and such. Okay, so the next thing about BTCPay is, like I said, it's not about making a service for some company or some person. It's about making your own payment processing, your own bank, your own money management system. And so that means that it's super customizable. You can customize your invoices. These are actually made by art design by SF. He's on Twitter. I don't know if he's here, but he made these really cool designs, and lots of people are using them. Everything is super custom, and it's not too hard to do. So this is what the typical invoice looks like, by the way. So on the scan page, this is going to just be the QR code. And then on the copy page, will look like this one here in the pink. And it is like the node info, and if you wanted to copy paste the address. So it's both. And you can also see here at the very bottom, there's a language dropdown. I think it's in 20, this invoice page, you can toggle to like 20 languages, which is super cool. So anyone all over the world can use it, thanks to a lot of our international translators that have contributed. We really appreciate that. We just want to get BTCPay to more and more people. So in addition to customizing the invoice, you can actually customize your entire layout of BTCPay. You want BTCPay in purple? Awesome. Make your BTCPay in purple. It's your bank. You can do it however you like. This was actually made by Dennis. I don't know how to say his last name. I think maybe it's a real name or something. But this is a theme that was developed for Casa, so it's super customizable all the way through. And another cool feature of BTCPay of how to be your own bank is the wallet management page. There's actually a deposit page. So it's kind of like if you've ever used BISC, you can generate another address, and then pay yourself. Very similar. And so this is really the deposit part of your bank. So you don't actually need to create invoices to deposit money to yourself if you wanted to do something like that. Like say you are getting money off of Wasabi or something, you can actually just pay yourself to your own deposit address in your bank. Does anyone have any questions so far? No? Doing okay? Awesome. So beyond BTCPay, there's also plugins that you can use. And there's a new plugin that's recently created by Coops. It's called BTC Transmuter, and it's money automation. So this is a new feature that is super cool. It helps you to automate your money. So this is kind of like an extension of BTCPay. So Transmuter will listen to your BTCPay, and it will listen for paid invoices. It will listen for invoice status changes, and you can do lots of things with these events that happen in your BTCPay. Some things that you can trigger automatically based on these payment events in your BTCPay are things like automatically forwarding the payment. So you can essentially implement this for kind of like a DCA operation, or if you were like an employer and you wanted to do kind of like direct deposit to your employees. What you can do is listen for a payment to your BTC address, and when payment is received in the wallet, you can automatically divide the payment and send it to other addresses, an infinite number of addresses. So you can do this for automatic sending to your friends and family. Maybe you want to send your family, $10 of some Bitcoin every week. You can do that with Transmuter, and you can also do a lot of other things too. You can exchange fiat to BTC, automatically using exchanges. So I was talking earlier about doing the ticketing app, which is kind of, I call it obsolete meetup. You can do that with BTC Transmuter as well. So what you can do is you can listen to a payment, and when a payment is received, you can actually email yourself, which is super cool, because a lot of times you'll get a payment in BTCPay, someone will donate to you $1, which is awesome. I have my Twitter tips page, someone will give me $1, very cool, but I don't know that I got paid unless I go in and check. And so Transmuter is part of the automation that you can do is you can actually notify yourself that you've received a payment instantly. And I made the guide on the obsolete meetup for the ticketing app, and this is kind of how it looks. So here's an example of an email that you can send to yourself. It can have customer information. You can say, okay, who paid me? You can try to get their email if they provided it. You don't have to provide it, or the customer doesn't have to provide it. The items purchased, if it was a point of sale system, the invoice status, what denomination they paid in, and the payment amount. So things like that. You can send yourself this information about the payments that you receive. So if you wanted to make this ticketing app, like I'm saying, to obsolete meetup, what you can do is you have a point of sale system, like I showed you with the ticketing app. And then when you receive payment, you send yourself the customer details. And then you can actually also send the customer a ticket in the email. And so you can do event ticketing using Transmuter. And this is all in your BTCPay. So it's very cool. And Transmuter basically has an infinite number of automatic things you can do, such as you can create Lightning invoices and pay Lightning invoices. You can create wallets all automatically with automation. So this is really cool. Definitely keep your eye on Transmuter. It's kind of pretty futuristic money management with Bitcoin. It's very cool. Does anyone have any questions at all so far? I see some questions.
So if you want, I can open it to questions now. If you want to open to questions in the middle, or we can do it when you're done. Your choice.
Oh, okay. I'll just keep going and come back. It's only a few more slides. So
Okay.
I don't know if you can read this, but some additional features in BTCPay. There's literally so many things. Like even me, like I'm working on a lot of documentation and support and things, but like even me, I can barely keep up. Like the open source contributors to BTCPay are so fast, and you can make a pull request to implement something that you want, and it will get into BTCPay. Like if you want to make your own bank better, like it will happen, you know? So it's almost hard to keep up with all the features. You know, we recently added liquid capability. Vault has been added, which is the HWI, the hardware integration that Andrew did. So basically you can connect any hardware wallet to BTCPay relatively easily, at least one that works with hardware wallet. So PSBT capability is in BTCPay, which is very cool. You can do like decoding PSBT, HD private key and mnemonic signing. So if you connect a wallet to BTCPay, you can actually sign with your private keys or your seed words, which is super cool. And you can also generate wallets. Like I said, if you deploy a BTCPay and you don't have a hardware wallet, maybe it's like coming in the mail, you know, you can actually make a hot wallet in BTCPay if you need to, just to try it out. So you can get going and making stores and apps and things like that. But also be careful, you know, hot wallet is never good. But still, there's so many things that you can do with the wallets in general. It's very, very cool. And basically, also too, has anyone here not deployed a Lightning node because it's too hard? Anybody? Like it's just like too much time and work. Like if that's you, definitely check out BTCPay because it's like a one-click thing. It's super easy. I personally think that BTCPay is the easiest way to deploy a Lightning node. See Lightning, Wendy, also Eclair and Pharmagen. So other things you can do, you can connect your BTCPay to Wasabi using the full node peer-to-peer, which is really cool. You can use your full node, which BTCPay includes a full node no matter what. And if you enable a Lightning node, like that's cool. It's just an extra thing, but it always comes with a full node, and you can use that full node to connect to other services and things like Wasabi or Electrum Personal Server. And of course, Tor is also included in BTCPay. So Tor is actually enabled by default in BTCPay. So that includes your BTCPay and your Lightning node. So you can browse your BTCPay over Tor. It's really cool. And also another thing a lot of people don't know is that BTCPay actually can have a file server too. So you can store files, MP3s, like spreadsheets, videos, or tax documents. I don't know, whatever you want to store. There's a file storage in BTCPay. So it's pretty cool. Like I sent Udi like my presentation, just upload to my BTCPay server. Really easy. And so this is the new thing that we're working on called configurator, and it's basically a one-step kind of click-through deployment process to set up BTCPay. And so this should be out soon. It's going to help deployment be even easier than Luna Node. And other things to keep an eye out for is the new API. There's a new API coming, which will allow you to do way more things than just the point of sale app and crowdfund. So that's very exciting. And PayJoin is coming. Very, very cool. Hopefully we can be one of the first apps to implement PayJoin. And I talked about Transmuter, and this is an image of configurator, which is the install. So yeah, thanks everyone. That's pretty much BTCPay. I definitely recommend checking it out. We have a Mattermost chat, a Twitter, Telegram. Come find us, ask questions. We're happy to help. So any questions?
Awesome. Awesome. Britt, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to open this to questions now. So you guys should see a raise hand button show up at the bottom right corner of your screen, and you can click that if you want to ask a question, and I'll let you ask them in order. And let's start with Sam. Sam, go ahead, and please show an emoji so we can see where you are. So just whatever emoji.
Yeah, hey everyone. Thanks for the presentation. That was really informative. So I noticed in some of the slides it mentioned that this is censorship resistant. How does BTCPay achieve that? What does that mean?
Well, there's kind of a broad term for BTCPay, but essentially you run your own server, meaning like you don't have to ask someone else to process a payment for you. So that's kind of the most basic way to think about it. But also you run your own full node inside of BTCPay, so no one can monitor your transactions, no one can watch you. It's like, you know, if you have, like, say you're using like Electrum and you have a wallet with Electrum and you connect that to BTCPay, like Electrum servers can still like watch all your transactions and monitor everything. So if you are using like BTCPay and a hardware wallet, like no, it's Polar by default. Like anyone using BTCPay is in control of sending payments to the network using your own full node and verifying payments using your own full node.
Gotcha. That's neat. I saw it also has Tor integration. Is that something that's like on by default, or just you choose it during configuration?
So it's on by default. You actually have to disable it if you don't want it. But it's actually more protection for the customer paying the invoice than it is for the merchant who is providing it, if that makes sense, because people can't access your store.
Does it use a Tor hidden service? Like, do they have to use an onion link? Oh, okay.
That's correct. Well, actually, sorry, I should say that it is available both. It's available over Tor as well as over HTTPS. Yeah.
So I guess the final follow-up question, like, are we seeing BTCPay adopted by darknet market vendors? Does it have that level of security, privacy?
I think I would say not so much in terms of Tor, but more in terms of censorship resistance, no KYC.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Next question to Daniel. And Daniel, please show us an emoji so that we can see where you are. Yeah. You should be able to speak. Do you see permission dialog? Yeah.
Okay. Hi, you mentioned Transmuter as a plugin for BTCPay server. Is that something that's a separate download, or can you just enable it on an existing BTCPay server?
Yes, so it's something that you just enable. In BTCPay, we call them environment variables, but from the user perspective, yeah, it's just something that you can enable. And really, the only thing that you need to do that is a little bit technical at this moment is that you will need to point a domain to your Transmuter instance to be able to view it. And so I don't know if you saw in the Transmuter pictures, there's a warning, I guess you could call it, about it is in experimental stage. I don't know if the warning is there, but essentially it was developed recently and it's not really for every new user because you do have to deploy it to a domain. So it is a little bit technical. And that's why we're hoping that more people will come and use it, people who understand Bitcoin, who understand some of the more advanced, wallet splitting or understanding how to manage different X clubs and such to help us try it out and get it ready for everyone to use.
Okay, next question from Pierre. Go ahead, Pierre, and please show us just with an emoji where you are. Yeah, you should have permission to speak. You can go ahead.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Are you planning to integrate, you mentioned that everybody can set up a BTCPay server and that you can give permissions to everybody else so they can log in, so they have a lot of login things, fields. Is it also possible to connect their full node, L&D node, to the fresh login? So
if
the users don't have to use the full node or the node from the server admin.
So this is a really common question that we get all the time in the BTCPay server chats. People always want to know how to do this. I just first want to point out that what I talked about, how you can enable an unlimited number of accounts, the question that you have. If you are interested in something like that, in BTCPay, we call it a third-party BTCPay. You can look in the documentation for the risks and benefits of being a third-party host of BTCPay, and just letting you know that. But in terms of connecting an external Lightning node or Bitcoin node, it is not easy, but it is possible. So it is not really something that you would want to do for everyone. Like third-party hosting is really a service that people will offer for getting, other people onboarded. So if you've ever heard of BTCPay Jungle, I think they're probably the biggest third-party BTCPay host, and they're, I think, hosting over 1,000 BTCPay accounts just for people to try it, and it's totally free. So something like that, they don't want to go so far out of their way to, help everyone get Lightning node enabled. It's really for trying it and getting people into it. But if you were an admin and you wanted to host for your friends, it is possible, but it's not easy.
Are you planning to do this in an easy way in the coming future? Do you have any?
Well, honestly, what we suggest is that you deploy your own server. So you can be your own bank and you use your own nodes.
Thank you.
Yeah, best to use your own server and your own nodes. That's the way to go. Let's go for Federal Money. Is that the name, Federal Money? You can go ahead. Federal Money. I'm sorry, we can't hear you. I'm going to move ahead to Unshackled.
Hello.
You can go ahead. Yeah.
May have answered this and I missed it, but I saw you connect to Electrum server, but wondering what is the purpose of that if it's BTCPay is connecting to its own full node?
Actually, I don't really know the purpose of it other than just that it's possible. But Electrum personal server would be cool so that you don't have to let Electrum servers who are not yourself know about your transactions if you're using Electrum Wallet.
Cool, thank you.
Next question from Bill.
Hey guys, I'm way in the back here. I'm way in the back. I'm working on a BTCPay integration to a point of sale, but not like in real life. Do you guys find that most integrations are focusing on online transactions, or are you finding that people are actually trying to deploy it into brick and mortar point of sale systems?
That's a good question. I think that a lot of people are trying to get BTCPay working on hardware physical point of sale systems. That's definitely happening. I know there's a few people out there, if you come into the chats, who can advise on some good ways to do it, if that's something you're interested in. But there's a lot of discussion on how to get BTCPay side by side with traditional point of sale systems. This is a bit challenging, but on the bright side, BTCPay can be, the point of sale system in BTCPay can be used on any device that can obtain a browser connection. So because BTCPay is a web app, you just need to have a device that can show the browser to the customer. So if that's a laptop, smartphone, iPad, whatever, you don't need to have like, all this fancy stuff. Can just, show a simple screen.
Cool. Okay, so next question. I think this will be the last question for now. And I'm going to take the next question now. And after that, feel free to reach out to any of us for any other questions. So eCurrency Hodler, go ahead.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Britt, huge fan of you and of BTCPay. Love what you guys are doing.
Hey.
I don't know if this question has been asked, but do you guys have any plans to implement CoinJoin inside BTCPay server?
Actually, PayJoin is in work in progress right now. I think that it will actually be released pretty soon. So I'm not an expert on CoinJoin and PayJoin, but PayJoin, we can do sort of like a CoinJoin when you receive payments, because it is a payment processing. We can also do other things such as like combining UTXOs and other things like that. And it is definitely in the works. If you are interested in those types of things, definitely come and check out our open issues. It's a pull request that's being reviewed right now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm just thinking like if BTCPay becomes the standard for all these businesses to accept Bitcoin and it has like CoinJoin automatically integrated into it, like I feel like that's pretty powerful and it would provide a lot of privacy for people.
Yeah, absolutely. We are definitely working on getting it into BTCPay because it's awesome. I know Cooks is working on getting some pull requests into Wasabi as well as BTCPay to make this happen. So if you want to review any of those, I think I retweeted on my Twitter. If you're a tech person, come help us do it the right way.
Thanks, Britt.
Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah, great, awesome. Thank you so much, Britt. This was a great presentation. Thank you.
See you guys after.
Yeah, I want to also thank our very helpful moderators that are helping with this event and other events. That's JC. Where's JC? I saw you here before. JC and Gigi and Zender. Hey JC, and Bar, who's over there. So thank you a lot. And guys, if any of you want to help with moderating and throwing these together, I really want to kind of step it up and do more and more of these events. So please reach out if you feel like helping with these.